Day 2 of FNCS Global's done. There's a lot to talk about and still lots to break down. From the top teams griefing each other, Merstache's team almost losing first place, and the many leaks Fortnite just showed us right before we hopped into the final game of FNCS Globals. So make sure you guys watch the end to stay updated on tournaments and ranked, and you can see how all your favorite pros placed and what they did. Without further ado, let's hop right into it. First of all, I would like to congratulate Merstache, Queasy, and Swizzy for winning Globals. They won with a 47-point lead and ended the tournament off with a total of 697 points. Now, it was a little touch and go in all of Day 2, as they were not placing anywhere near as well as they did in Day 1. And it did get so close in the last 2 games between them and Marius Cow's team, to the point that Merstache and his trio actually pushed Marius Cow's trio in the 11th game and took them out before the end game could even start. That play was one of the 2 plays that helped them secure the win in the last 2 games. Now, in the last game, Marius Cow and his trio actually took out Swizzy and Merstache, but Queasy got away and was able to grab a little bit more placement. Then Marius Cow's team went up to height and eventually got taken down because they were fighting multiple different teams. But once again, congratulations to the winner. They actually had an average placement of 6.83 and an average of 5.08 kills per game. But second place went to Vanyik, Pixie, and Marius Cow. They got a total of 650 points and played absolutely amazing on Day 2. They by far outperformed all the trios in Day 2 in terms of consistency. But Malabuka's team was ahead of points in just Day 2 because of more eliminations. Now, they did have an overall great tournament, and their average placement was 5.92, which is almost 1 placement higher than the winning team. But they did that without winning a single match. When the winning team, Merstache, had 3 wins to keep up their average placement. They did have a lot fewer kills with an average of 3.75, but that truly shows just how important placement is at the top of FNCS. Congratulations to them for getting second place and truly showing us that they were one of the top trios in the world. With second place out the way, third place goes to Seti, Yapko, and Panzer, with a total of 590 points and 1 win. They also played amazing, and it was fun to see all the French fans booing them each time they were put on the screen, even after they took a win in the second game. They played very passively but still got a good number of kills, with a higher average kills in second place at 4.33. Their average placement, however, was almost double that of second place. They got an average placement of 9.33 and a total of 52 eliminations. It was really fun to watch them compete against the other trio, which used to include Seti's old duo and trio member, Cammy. But fourth place actually goes to Seti's old duo and trio member, funny enough, Cammy. Cammy's trio also put on a very good performance compared to Day 1. They actually got the last win in all of FNCS Globals, which was insane to see. Cammy took out Seti's team and one other team just to secure the win. They had higher average eliminations than Seti team, but only by 0.1, with an average of 4.42. Their average placement was 3 higher than Seti's team at 1250, which just shows how much a single win can bump you up in placement and points on a leaderboard. They also had a fantastic tournament once again. Next is 5th place, which goes to our first NA team of the top 10, which is absolutely insane, Rapid, Kanata, and Bolts. They finished with a total of 518 points and had 1 win, but that 1 win was actually on Day 1, sadly. Then they placed relatively well on Day 2, achieving a much higher placement than Cammy's team with an average of 8.58, but their average eliminations were way lower at 3.17. This team definitely had its moments and was fun to watch, but they just kept getting cooked right before the good part of endgames, which ultimately sold them overall. The games they did get into the later endgames, they played pretty well, and they were honestly just trying to squeeze as much placement out of the tournament as possible, as we were not doing too well after the second half of Day 1. 6th place was the trio I wanted to win, Pix, Darm, and Demas. They got a total of 512 points and 1 win on Day 2, which was the 3rd game. They were holding 3rd place for most of Day 2 until the very end, when Malabuka's team griefed them and killed them off the start just so that they could try and place higher and take 3rd place. It was really fun to watch this team play, as they were my favorite pick. They are rookies from EU, and it's cool to see how well they held up in these lobbies that are full of pros who've been in the scene for over multiple years. They got a pretty good average placement of 10.17, but their eliminations were a little low with an average of 3.08. When this team didn't get keyed in mid-game, they performed really well in endgame. They were actually one of the better teams in every endgame they played. The first 3 games of Day 2 saw them place 3rd, 4th, and 1st, but after that, they got keyed mid-game, which ultimately was their downfall. 7th place goes to Chino, Pablo, and Fredoxy. They had a very interesting Globals tournament, as they were conned by Tayson's trio in basically every game. Most of the time they won off spawn, and after they won off spawn, they pushed other teams, getting lots of kills and damage. They had some really good fights. They got a total of 511 points, which was 1 less than Demas' team. Once again, they didn't have the best luck getting to endgames, but that didn't matter. The games they stayed alive off spawn, they dropped high eliminations games like 17 kills, 10 kills, and 19 kills, which was also very interesting. However, their average placement held them down at 19.92, but their average kills were one of the highest at 7.25. Even though they often died around 20th place, they still somehow managed those kills in most games, thanks to Tayson and the surrounding teams. But 8th place went to Ping, Wox, and Malabuka. They had the most points in day 2 overall, but it still wasn't enough to make up for day 1. They started off day 2 with a win, which set the tone for the rest of the day. They played really well and ended with 481 points. Their average placement was 10.50 and average eliminations was 3.58. They were a very consistent trio in day 2 with a first place 9-kill win, a third place with 6 kills, a 5th place with 1 kill, and a 6th place with 4 kills. It was actually very impressive, and I wish this team had performed the same way on day 1 because they could have easily been top 3, if not number 1. With 8th place out the way, 9th place was Chap, Mr. Savage, and Rezon, which actually surprised me. We didn't get to see a lot of them on day 2, but they finished with 403 points. The crazy thing is that they were almost 300 points behind first place and 78 points behind 8th place, which shows the massive gap between the top 10. Day 2 wasn't the best for them, but they had 2 good games, a 3rd place with 4 eliminations and a 5th place with 8 eliminations. Their average placement was 13.58 and average eliminations 3.33. I wish they had more screen time, as it would have been fun to see a Fortnite pro who retired months ago come back and place top 10 in FNCS Globals. At least we got to see them in the top 10 of the leaderboard though. And finally, 10th place goes to Muzz, Shadow, and Sphinx, which is only the 2nd NA team in the top 10. They got 402 points, 1 point less than Mr. Savage's team. They got a win on day 2, which was their 4th game, but that wasn't the most impressive part. This team also got some other great placements. 8th place with 6 kills, 3rd place with 6 kills, the win with 8 kills, and the 7th place with 4 eliminations. They had an average placement of 12.83 and an average eliminations of 3.08. Overall, they had a much better second day than their first day, but still didn't reach the placements they were hoping for. I also want to give a huge shout out to the 2 Brazilian teams that placed 11th and 12th. They played extremely well and showed that they can compete with the big dogs of Fortnite. Striker's team even got a win in Globals, which is absolutely crazy, and King's team just plays very well. Only 1 point away from breaking into the top 10, Striker team was only 3 points away too. Good luck to them and great job in Globals, guys. Now, we do have to talk about the big elephant in the room, Peterbot, Pollo, and Clicks. How did he actually place today? Well, Peterbot moved up 10 places in day 2, and his placement were twice as good as they were in day 1. He had 2 amazing games, an 8th place with 7 eliminations and a 5th place with 14 eliminations, where he actually went and soloed height and almost won the entire game. Yes, he placed higher in day 2, but he still underperformed significantly compared to what everyone expected from him. I want to say though that Peterbot is still one of the best players in Fortnite. He just had a very rough tournament, but he will come back stronger in the duo FNCS that was just announced. Pollo didn't do too well either, placing just under Peterbot in 16th, and Clicks did even worse on day 2, finishing in 18th place. Now, one thing we do have to talk about is how much EU dominated the tournament by. Once again, there was only 2 NA teams in the top 10 of the leaderboard, which is crazy because usually in most tournaments it is very even between NA and EU. However, I do think because it was in EU, most of the NA teams were just not used to it. But once again, you could say that same thing when we play in NA. However, the EU teams just played way better overall. Now, we do got to talk about the surge trading. The surge trading is one of the most annoying things to watch in high competitive Fortnite. It keeps the mid game super slow, everything's super boring, and I wish more people would key actual people that are in the surge base. Now, I did watch Clix' team sneak up on Kanada's team, but they didn't actually get the kills off because they didn't push fast enough when Rapid was on the ground. And we also did see other teams key, like for example, we saw Peterbot key other teams. So it was great to see most of the NA teams actually keying the surge base teams. Now, the surge bases, once again, you get a lot of surge, then in any game you don't have to worry about surge, so you can just go for kills while the other people have to worry about surge. It's just really annoying and not that great, but once again, congratulations to the EU teams because EU absolutely dominated this tournament. Now, we did get some leaks about what is happening for the next year, or kind of like some confirmations. They talked about Ranked 2.0, which my personal opinion on it, and I don't know about it yet, is that they're going to bring a mix of Ranked right now and a mix of Arena, which I would love to see because I feel like Arena was a way better format for Ranked and it actually made it way harder to get into the top ranks. Now, they also did confirm Duo FNCS, so right after this, get with a Duo partner, practice every single day, and get ready for Duo FNCS because it is going to be very important that you guys lock in so you guys can beat Peterbot and Pollo, you know? They also announced a $1 million mobile tournament, or $1 million total in earnings for mobile tournaments. So if you guys got a phone, download Fortnite, play on mobile, get really good at mobile so you guys can make some good money. And they also confirmed a LAN in the middle of FNCS, which is going to be insane. They also said Pro Am would be coming back too, which is going to be really fun to see your top creators play with pros because it's just really cool to see all of that. Now, once again, congratulations to all the top 10 teams. Peterbot, we expected a little bit more out of you, but you still did better in day 2, which we're proud of. Clicks, Kind of disappointed. You were my second pick. You were my first pick in day one, but I had to change Damus to be my first just because you guys were playing horrible. So hopefully we see you guys do better next tournament. But yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video, please leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below what you guys thought of globals and NA being absolutely horrible this tournament. Also, make sure you guys use code FLOWIN in the Fortnite item shop, and make sure you guys go check out some of my other videos. Thank you guys for taking time out of your day to watch my video, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace, guys.